Good day to you, Internet. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. Today, we venture forth into the first of several hells. Though really, I prefer to call it a pre-hell because, it's pretty hellish, but what comes next is even hellisher. And so, I just call it the precursor to the first true hell in Dark Souls, of which there are several, including an actual, factual lava-filled hell, which is particularly hellish if you don't do the shortcut. But in any case, we are going forward through Firelink Shrine here. We're on our way to the depths. You'll notice in a couple of videos ago, there was this one door I passed by that I pointed out, and we couldn't open it yet, but we can open it now, because we have the key to the depths, which we got from the Capra Demon, along with a handful of souls. So, let us proceed down this waterway here, which is a very nice handy shortcut to the depths, and to the insane difficult entrance to Blight Town, which is in the depths, and which we probably will not be taking the first time around. I very much prefer a different shortcut that takes us through the Darkroot Basin and the Valley of the Drakes, which I don't know if we've seen yet. We probably have. I can't really remember. Oh yeah, we did go through there at one point to get to the... No. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll worry about it some other time. In any case, we'll see the Valley of Drakes in the next video in case we never have before. Overall, it's a pretty small area, one of the smallest in the game next to Firelink Shrine. It's really just a thoroughfare for some other actual areas. Though it does have a mini-boss, but as a sorcerer, the mini-boss is such a pushover that, it's actually kind of amusing. Because the first time I fought it as a warrior, it was much more difficult. I was much more, precarious. I was much more cautious because there was a greater danger of dying, but as a sorcerer we just eliminate the guy easy. Alright, so here we are in the depths. This is the first... how do I say this? Every part of the game is pretty miserable in terms of, throwing a whole ton of enemies at you and making sure that you have a really tough time proceeding. But the depths is the first place where the game just feels mean. It just gets even worse, and I will point out exactly why. I think about halfway through this video we're going to find out why. So I killed some dudes, got a thing. I'm going to use that thing real quick. Get me a few souls, 1,000 souls, which is nice. And then we leave the entrance area of the depths, and we run into a few more dudes down in this area. There's a small cabal of dudes. None of them are particularly difficult. They are all particularly low-level dudes. But, I don't know. If you're not paying attention and you let some of them get behind you and you're a complete doofus like me, then you could run into a bit of trouble. There are worse enemies in the depths, to be sure. This is sort of... Yeah, this entryway where there's a whole bunch of the low-level guys, it's sort of deceiving. It makes you think that this area isn't going to be quite as bad as you think, and then I die 2 minutes from now. Maybe even 1. Because it just gets... It's frustrating. It's not as bad as some other areas that kill you in every single place, but you know what, I will save why this is horrible for later. Backstab. And he's down. Okay, I think we have cleared out the dude infestation here. Oh look, here's another guy. He's sort of circling people around. And so, proceeding forward, what is the first enemy that we run into down on the lower level? It's a dog. Wonderful. Yes, I did not get enough of these guys in the lower Undead Burg. I need more dogs. Just jump forward and poison me and kill the crap out of me. Of course, I try to attack them, and the sword clangs uselessly against the wall. There we go. Now I've got a bit of an open area, and there he goes. Alright, moving down, we have, over in the other direction, there's another dog, and our first butcher. First of 2. Dog goes down easy enough with a great soul arrow.
The Butcher is going to give me a little bit more trouble because I don't really know what I'm doing here. This charges at me with this giant cleaving axe, and I keep running to the side. I keep dodging to the side, thinking that that's going to save me. In this case, it does not, because I'm either dodging at the... Yeah, I'm definitely dodging at the wrong time, because I don't really know what I'm doing. And it has resulted in my untimely but totally deserved death. So, how do I actually fight off a Butcher? Oh, geez, he's just running right after me now. Basically, less dodging to the side, more dodging backwards, and basically just staying away in general, which is the basic Sorcerer strategy that I should have been sticking to this entire time and naturally never did. Because I'm terrible. But yeah, this guy goes down easy enough to... Is it a guy or a girl? I don't know. I think this person... I've heard both, but they might have been referring to another character later in the game as female. Because this Butcher looks pretty butch. Not that women can't be butch, but I think you guys know what I'm getting at. So he was cooking a thing over there in that pot. That's sort of a raging fire under there. I think he eats people. And in this chest, we have a large ember. We can make large weapons. We can upgrade weapons with large... Actually, no, we can't do that, but we can upgrade just normal weapons to greater numbers. Anyway, what you want to do is jump down here for a thing. So you can see right down here, here is a bit of a mini boss-ish enemy, the enormous friggin' rat. Intimidating enemy normally, but if you have great soul arrows, he doesn't last too long. Though really, if you're playing a warrior build or a knight build, and you've been upgrading your strength enough, then a single plunging attack can kill this guy, actually. But either way, it's not the most aggressive mini-boss in the world unless you are foolish and you fall down early accidentally and then have to face him head-on. That's... can't possibly be fun. So there's an important item that's dropped here by the rat once you kill it, but up on the top is also another very important item that's going to be absolutely essential once we get to Blighttown, which is just one area away. My tongue is dry as hell, which is weird because I've been drinking water all day long. The Spider Shield. The Spider Shield is not only an improvement over our Knight Shield, as we can see here. Everything lights up blue, so it's improving all of our stats except for the physical attack, but I never attack with my shield anyway, so I don't care, I'm switching to it right away. Not only does it boost our defenses, it's more durable and it's lighter, but when you're holding it up, it prevents all toxic. There we go, the sewer chamber key is something that we're going to need because it unlocks the door to the only bonfire that I know of in the depths, and a soul of a nameless soldier. But anyway, there are some really annoying enemies in Blighttown that can attack you with toxic, and toxic is just like poison on steroids. It's terrible stuff. But this shield will... This shield will give you 100% protection against toxic, which is going to be very useful if you want to go and obtain the Firekeeper soul in Blighttown. Soul of a nameless soldier. There, like that small hallway we just entered, there are a bunch of hallways like that in the depths, but you need to explore them very, very carefully because a lot of them have hidden pitfalls in them. Surprise, surprise. And they will lead you down into what is probably actual hell. Anyway, when you're sliding down that waterfall, make sure to stay to the very left, otherwise, once again, you will be dropped into hell. So you don't want to go into hell right yet. You don't want to be thrown in there unprepared. So anyway, here's some slime enemy. Seems much hardier than the ones you'll find in Dragon Quest. They have a lot of defense for normal attacks, but if you are a pyromancer, fire will just completely obliterate them. They're extremely weak to fire. Anyway, in this new area with the slime, you head around to this stairway here, open this door, and we'll climb up this ladder here. This little ladder is... This whole stair thing is going to be one we're visiting a few times. because this is the path to the only bonfire in the depths. Fight off this dude. He's trying to fire me up here. Nope, I take him down. Use the sewer chamber key. And there is our beloved sword in the dirt. Is it a stone? No, it's just a sword in the middle of a big pile of wood. So we'll light this bonfire, get some of our soul arrows back. And we'll give an upgrade to dexterity. I'm going to start upgrading my dexterity more so I can start firing off spells faster. The difference isn't particularly noticeable in small increments, but if you look up on YouTube, you can see a really cool video of the speed benefits gained by upgrading your dexterity. Anyway, if you're going to run through this hallway, run through it fast, because I didn't really show it here. Maybe I showed it here, I don't know, we'll have to see in a second. No, I didn't show it here. A whole bunch of slimes, like the one we fought, drop from above. And then if they land on your head, they start eating you, and they can take out half your health bar really quickly before you get them off. Anyway, where we're going right now is actually back upwards towards the entrance to the depths. This is the second path downward towards the boss and towards the bonfire, but if you take this path down initially, then you can't get the sewer chamber key and you can't open the bonfire, so this is not your primary choice unless... And no, even if you want to do a speed run, I think that jumping down to that rat will be faster. Anyway, here is our second butcher in the depths, I think out of 2. And it's gone down already. And it drops... What does it drop? It drops a sack. You can wear that sack on your head, if it's any good. I don't think it is. And right here, here's a hole. You can see that this leads to the area where the other butcher was. So, and here we are.
You. Yes, you. Here, over here. Please, you must help me.
Here's a dude who is trapped in a barrel and needs to be freed. So free him.
Thank you. I would have been a supper without you. Been eaten alive. I shudder to think. Thank you. Thank you dearly. I am Laurentius, of the Great Swamp. I will not forget my debt to you.
It's no big deal, British Altair from Assassin's Creed. Here we seem to have floating pieces of broken wood.
Oh, hello there. I'm fine, thanks to you.
Just sort of floating there in the air, cutting my head off. Sometimes the game's engine will do that. It'll sort of hang broken stuff in the middle of the air like that for reasons unknown to me. Well, whatever. It's a small flaw in an otherwise near-perfect game. So anyway, now that we have killed the butcher and freed that guy, he is the game's first pyromancer that you encounter, and he will give you your pyromancy flame, which can be useful if you're a sorcerer. I don't know how effective it is compared to soul arrows and other basic sorceries, but it's always really handy to have fire on hand, because fire could be strong against several enemies. Like if I had a pyromancy flame, that thing would be gone in a single shot instead of 5. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. So yeah, now that we've saved him, he will appear back at Firelink Shrine for us to get a free pyromancy flame from him, with, I think, Fireball installed. Or maybe nothing's installed, I don't know if it has any pre-installed apps on it. I don't know, we'll figure that out once I get back to Firelink Shrine. And here's what I was talking about. All those slimes that were not in this corridor before, they all fell down while I was running past. And so you do not want to run past slowly, you want to move it. I like to move it, move it. So here's the bonfire again. We can't level up, but we are, for the first time in a while, going to reverse our hollowing. I was avoiding it for a while because I don't want to be invaded by jerks. But in this case, I do want to be invaded. We're going to see the first of the NPC invaders in the game, of which there are several. This particular guy we're going to run into a few times. And NPC invaders, they are really never any trouble. I've never had any problem taking care of one of those guys. It's the human player invaders that will just ruin you. And they're incredibly good at ruining you. It's what they do. They've perfected the art. I do remember saying in an earlier video that I was going to spend as much time unhollowed as possible. I totally lied. Being hollow is... There are some downsides to it, especially if you're a beginner, like you cannot summon other people to help you in bosses, but I'm not going to be fighting the bosses with any help anyway, not even Ornstein and Smo. I am going to try and solo everything I can, so that's not going to be a problem for me. And also, you can't really kindle bonfires unless you're unhallowed, but I don't know, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. There aren't too many bonfires that I really need to kindle around here. Though there are a few that it would be really handy to kindle, probably. For one, the bonfire that's in the Undead Burg would be a good choice because it links to a whole lot of different places. The one in the Undead Parish right above Andre, because it's linked both to the Darkroot Garden and to Sen's Fortress, which is a particularly unforgiving area. There are some other ones, definitely some bonfires in Anor Londo that you could stand to kindle. But yeah, there's some other benefits as well that I can't think of off the top of my head. Really, I think that's the only two. And you get invaded, and if I think of any others, I'll let you know. So, this way that I'm taking here is not strictly necessary in order to fight the boss, but it is very much desired. This is sort of the hell area of the depths that you can drop into, or I guess, no, this is the area right above hell. This is pre-hell, I guess. We're just fighting off some rats here, and rats are not a big deal compared to the enemy we're going to be seeing shortly. Take that, rat. Plus they drop humanity if you're lucky, and I've picked up a couple already. I'll probably pick up a couple more before the video's done. Down this way, I'm sort of nervous because whenever you enter a really narrow hallway like this, you really want to comb the floor carefully with your eyes to watch out for pitfalls, because you will fall into a pit, and it will suck. So yep, good sign that we're going the right way is that we have a white light to traverse. And moving forward, we have one of these channeler fellows down here. Fire off a great soul arrow, and there we go, it actually hits. There we go, 2 of those great soul arrows, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I've just finished off the channel. But what he's done is he's gone and buffed all the rats, so that they are now more powerful thanks to his magic spell. And what this channeler can do, if you don't kill him, he will use that magic buff spell on the boss, and that's exactly as bad as you think it is. Like right in the area we are now, I'll show you in a second. Kill this rat first. And over here is a humanity. Rats love to drop humanity. And the channeler is dead. So looking over here, this is the boss arena that we're in actually. We're overlooking it, but we're not going to get there for, I don't know, another 10-15 minutes maybe. But, yep, you can take a look here and you can see why the channeler would have a very good venue for buffing the boss, because you get a direct line of sight. So yeah, definitely take out this channeler before you go to fight the boss. Also pick up this goodie, which is a large titanite shard. Those are hard to come by at this stage in the game, so we'll take it. Anyway, running over in this direction, I sort of try to make my way down a hallway here. Break some boxes first. Move very slowly and carefully because I don't want to fall into a pit. If you see a pit, you can jump over it and keep going, but I don't know, maybe there's a second pit right behind. And I don't know if there are any major goodies in these narrow hallways, because I never really try and go there. As you can see, I am immediately chickening out and going back because I recognize this is such a horrible idea at this time. I'm gonna go ahead and try it again. Never, basically. I could try it again after killing off the hell enemies, but that's... no, just not. I can't, not going to. Not happening. Instead, I'm going to traipse lengthily back to where I was before, to the ladder that leads us back up to the bonfire, which would be handy. Where am I? Fortunately, this particular area is pretty straightforward, but it is easy to get lost in the depths. I have gotten lost in the depths before. My first time in the depths, I got hopelessly lost, and once you know how to navigate the depths, I just took a bonfire break there. I'm back now. Once you know how to navigate the depths, it's really not so bad, but when you are a first-time player and you're hopelessly lost, if you're like me, you just sort of get the feeling that you will never ever escape, and then you end up doing really dumb things that you could have avoided otherwise. And down here, this is one of the final areas. Actually, I think we've been here before. Yeah, we slid down a waterfall to get here. And so now we're going in this different direction. Fight off these rats here real quick. And I'm getting, I think, attacked by a slime from behind. They sort of generate spikes out of who knows where. I just avoid them if I don't have a pyromancy flame. It's not really worth my time. Take out a few more rats here. My tongue is so dry. I don't know what the deal is. I can't talk. I'm making these popping noises. Okay. So I'm sort of inching forward slowly down here because I'm expecting something, but I don't know when exactly it's going to happen. So I'm running forward and slicing up these random gobs of disgusting, sort of chopping it up. Reminds me of Conker's Bad Fur Day, the way they explode into blood and stuff like that. And that is our first hell enemy, but we'll worry about that in just a minute because Dark Spirit Knight Kirk is invading. Ta-da! And this is the NPC invader that I was referring to initially. He is covered in spikes. His armor's covered in spikes. His shield's covered in spikes. I think even his sword is covered in spikes, which doesn't even make sense because it's a sword. And my sword is not too effective against the guy, so I'm going to be trying to fire off some soul arrows instead. Which works because he's surprisingly slow, actually. This is not the same as fighting Oscar of Astora, where you will never in your life get a soul arrow hit on him if you're not in a corridor. Here it is actually possible to fight him with soul arrows in an open area. He does do some poison damage, but if you're holding up your shield, you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Few great soul arrows and the guy will be taken down. And I get a handful of souls from him. Bizarre number, I think 5,938 or something ridiculous. Acquire his humanity. And then you can pick... Oh, I guess there is no loot this time around. Sometimes when you fight him, you get loot. But I think you might have to fight him a couple more times. Explode the gross slime thing. And here I am, entering the really bad part of the depths that you do not want to fall into. So, over here, are we going to find more of the hell enemies? Maybe not immediately, but we will in just a second. We killed one before when I wasn't really letting you see what it looked like. Where have they all gone to? Another gigantic little slime structure. I'm sort of exploring here, but there's nothing down here in that alcove to be found, so I just keep going this way. And there they are, staring me through the fence. These... Not over there. No, wrong fence. Over there. There we go. These are basilisks. Gigantic-eyed frogs. And what makes these guys so dangerous is that they can curse you. And being cursed is horrible. What I got here? Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Being cursed is the worst. You don't have... how do I say that? Well, basically... The worst thing is that you are permanently stuck at half your health until you use an anti-curse item, which you might not even have on hand. So you might have to leave the depths and go get a purging stone and then come back. Fortunately, I got a couple of purging stones when I was trading with Snuggly the Crow, so I don't have to worry about that yet, even if I do get cursed, though I certainly don't intend to get cursed. But, oh, look, a guy just popped into existence right there, this sort of pointy statue. That happens whenever a guy gets cursed. A pointy statue of them appears in other people's games, just as a warning that horrible things are about to happen. And that basilisk is now dead. That gray mist gas thing that he was spraying, that is what curses you. So stay away from it at all costs, because being cursed is horrible. You instantly die, and then your health is permanently fixed at half its normal value, like you're playing Demon Souls, with no cling ring. So stay away, or at least if you're going to come in here, come with some purging stones on hand. Because you do not want to do what I had to do, and get cursed, and then get lost in the depths, and then just say screw it, and fight the boss at half health, where his attacks can instantly kill you. Do not do that. Be prepared, pick up purging stones, or just, you could, if you wanted to, completely stay out of this part of the depths. This is a non-essential area. Once you kill the channeler, you can basically skip ahead to later, where I talk to the merchant in the large watery hall and then fight the boss. I'm just going through here for the sake of completion, but if you're really scared of the thought that half your health will be gone, just stay away from here. And stay away from narrow hallways if you can help it, because they will drop you in here. And you will not get a gentle introduction to the basilisks. You will be immediately surrounded by 5 of them, and they will curse you, and it will be horrible. And I just picked up an Eye of Death. According to the wiki that I just looked at, the Eye of Death is an item that I can't use because I'm not part of the right covenant, but it can be a pretty annoying item for other people. Ring of the Evil Eye. This is the one interesting thing that you can find in this area, the Ring of the Evil Eye. Basically, every time you kill an enemy, you get a slight HP boost, which can be handy in areas with a whole lot of enemies. I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Get rid of my wolf ring. I don't need that much poise. I am poised as hell as it is. I am dodging left and right like a mofo. Can't touch this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on the Ring of the Evil Eye. And I just realized that I'm bragging about how awesome I am and I'm putting on a ring that helps me restore my health. Whatever. You know what? I don't care. I am done with this particular area of the depths, I think. But no, I'm going to go up this stairwell here and see what's here. Oh yeah. Here's a pit. I just run for a little bit and jump over, and I pick up humanity. I've got a whole bunch of humanity on hand right now. Jump over. I'm down, and I think I'm done here, so I'm going to try and work my way back to the bonfire real quick. So then I have enough souls to level up at least once. I don't think I can level up twice, unfortunately. I almost can level up twice, which is the most infuriating single level up of all. Anyway, the Eye of Death, which I was talking about before, basically, if you are part of the Gravelord Servant Covenant, or maybe, yeah, probably if you're just part of the Covenant, I'm pretty sure the wiki knows what it's talking about, you can invade other people's worlds, or kinda sorta. It's like, not like you invade their worlds, it's more like you cast horrible effects upon their worlds to make their lives a bit harder, and basically you're making other people's lives harder, but they can find the soul sign that you are inadvertently putting down and touch it and bring themselves to your world to try and kill you for, messing them up. And just killing them afterwards, not giving a crap, would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go up to the bonfire. I'll see you guys there. And here we are. At the bonfire, I'm leveled up, and there are soul signs down now. I'm not leveled up, I'm unhallowed, so there are soul signs there now, so I can summon other people to my game if I want to, but I don't want to, not yet. Give myself a dexterity, and who's this guy? Gotta catch 'em all. I like that guy. Anyway, back down in the watery hall, we are very close to the boss. There is one other area that we're going to take a quick look at. First, we're going to kill rats. Get away from the slimes, just kill the rats. 1, 2. Doing pretty well with our longsword here, but we can do much better once we upgrade it. Stomach ahead. That is a hint as to the boss of this level, but if you have not seen the boss of this level, I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Aye, Shemai, and good day to you. I'm Donald of Xena. I'm just, a peddler of sorts. I adore trinkets and oddities, so I trade for them.
And then we have this dude. This dude is a merchant, sells some cool odds and ends. Mostly he's interesting because of the armor sets that he can sell. Right now he just sells this one armor set that I think might belong to Lautrec, but he can get other ones, and we'll explain.
Well, that is a shame, but no matter. No, not to worry. Come back again. I'm always available. Not every trade was meant to be. There'll be more in store for us, someday, sometime.
I like him. I like his accent, and I like how chatty he is. Anyway, after you kill certain bosses, you can go to this guy and buy armor sets from them of the bosses you killed. Works on certain bosses like Ornstein or Smo and the final boss. And eventually he appears really close by in Firelink Shrine, so you can get these things more easily, which is very handy. Anyhow, we are now in the boss area proper. Instead of sort of hovering up above it like we were before, I'm taking a look around because I know there's an item nearby that will be useful. Well, no, it won't be useful to me. It could be useful to somebody else who isn't me, but I know, I'm a completionist and I like to pick up things. So, it's not up here, so I'm going to go down a level real quick. Down to these stairs. Over this way, there's nothing. Over in the other direction, we can find a couple of NPC summon signs, as well as this message that says, "Good luck, thanks." Over here, we can find our good friend Knight Solaire. He can help us out with his cool lightning spears. He's always very handy to have around because, you know, he doesn't go down too easy. Heavy crossbow, heavy bolt, that's handy. Over here is a second NPC summon sign, actually. You can bring Knight Lautrec over to help you out with this next boss. I've never seen him in action, so I wonder how he does exactly. Sometime I'm going to have to try that out. But not in this video because I'm going solo, gangsta, Gangnam style. Anyway, we're at the boss. Let's traverse the white light and see what horrors await us within. This is the Gaping Dragon, and it is visually one of the coolest boss designs I've ever seen in any video game. This is one of those bosses that they were showing off before the game was actually released, because man, look at that thing. That thing is awesome. Anyway, he can be a bit of a pain to fight, especially if you do what I do and try to cut off the tail, which is really not too easy because, as you can see, the tail keeps moving up. And I don't even know why I'm trying to cut off the tail, maybe just for completion's sake, but man, we are never going to use the item that this guy's tail drops. So I don't really know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, right now I'm trying to run away from him in hopes of cutting off that tail, instead of actually attacking him normally like I should be doing this whole time, but I'm a dope. Anyway, this guy has a couple of annoying attacks that don't get shown off here. One of them because I am smart, and the other one is just because I'm unlucky and didn't get to see it. Or maybe I should say I was lucky, I don't know. Anyway, one of the cool attacks that we don't see is where the dragon grabs you with its front claw and just stuffs you into its gigantic rib-tooth cage and just starts eating you. And that can do a hell of a lot of damage to you. It can probably take off close to your entire life bar. Here we go, I finally wisened up and started using soul arrows on this thing. Of course that one. Oh, no, it made it. Anyway, that's one of its attacks that we don't get to see here. The other one is where it sort of sits up a bit from, I think, a sitting position. It just sort of regurgitates stomach acid all over the arena, and you want to stay out of that. Right there, when he was sweeping his arm, that was the grab attack. Anyway, you want to stay out of that stomach acid stuff, including the steamy kind of stuff that's already on the ground, because it will wreak havoc on your weapon's durability. It can break your weapons very quickly and easily. And fire off a useless soul arrow there. So yeah, definitely keep your distance with this guy. If you're a sorcerer, you have more opportunities to attack because you don't need to get quite as close in order to launch a soul arrow. If you're a warrior, there's really only one safe time to attack, and that is when he is down on the ground and charging forward, because he will have a brief period of not doing anything then, and that's when you can get in the most hits. That's also the best time to try and cut off the thing's tail, which I'm still trying to do here. I don't know what I'm doing here. Cuts. At least it's doing some damage. Oh man, did I really just try and cut that thing while I was jumping? He would try to jump, and right now he seems just to sort of be turning around really fast, but when I was first fighting this guy, he had a really nasty habit of, ow, oh holy ow, that was really painful. That's one of those attacks where if you're cursed, like I was, it can kill you instantly, like it did. Anyway, he will jump up like that, and he will land on you, and if you are cursed, it will kill you. Don't get cursed, just carry a Purging Stone. Anyway, he's charging forward again, so I'm going to try once more to get this tail off for no particularly good reason, other than I just want to cut off this guy's tail. There we go. The Dragon King Great Axe. I can't imagine when I'm going to have the strength to wield a Great Axe, for Nick's sake, but let alone that Great Axe, which is enormous. But whatever, I've cut off the tail. The tail couldn't damage me before, but it certainly can't now. And, you know, mission accomplished. I'm just going to start firing soul arrows at this guy now, keep a good distance, not be an idiot. 3, another 2. So he's nearly down now. The soul arrows will go much faster than trying to cut off the guy's tail, but you do only get one shot at that tail. If you kill the boss and the tail is not dead, then, you know, forget it. You're not getting that Great Axe until you start the game over again. And down it goes, finally. I have taken out the Gaping Dragon, and I jump for joy, because I am quite joyous. I get the key to Blighttown, which I won't be using until I'm done with Blighttown. I also get Twin Humanities, a Homeward Bone, and I can pick up the standard sets of armor. I don't know if I'm going to put that on, depends on how heavy it is versus how useful it is. Anyway, I've run back to the bonfire here to level up a few times. Put one into a Vitality. Actually, no, I take back the Vitality, I think. What do I do here? Oh yeah, Vitality and Dexterity. There we go. Really pumping up Dexterity just to be safe. And lastly, we find ourselves summoned by another dude. Aleska dude. Where is Aleska dude? Where did you go? I don't know where this guy went. Searching around for him a little bit. And you know, he's not here, he's not grabbing the crossbow, but he appears suddenly over there. I don't know where he was coming from. So, you know, I'm going to be polite here. He's going to be polite too. I need to move away so I can actually do something. There we go. Give him a quick bow, as it is polite to do when you are summoned. He gives a point forward, and that's fine by me. We could do a couple jumps for joy. Alright, and this boss fight is going to get underway. Let's check it out. And I'm going to skip this first cutscene here, because we've already seen it. So, well, I don't think there's a particular two-person strategy that's unique to this boss. So, in any case like this, I take on my usual summon role, and I play the bait. Also, if you are a summoned person, and the person who summoned you is trying to cut off the tail, and you do not help him cut off the tail, you are a bad summoned person. Always help them cut off the tail if they're trying to do so. It's just, you know, common courtesy. So, yeah, basically what I do whenever I'm in a situation like this is I play the baits, which is really the best thing to do if you are a summon, because it's the best use of summons. Epic Name Bro has pointed this out before, that one thing you don't have to worry about is health restoration. For one thing, your Estus Flasks don't even work, but for another thing, the person who summoned you, their Estus Flasks will heal you. So you can just do the fighting, and the other person hangs back and does all the healing for you, if they are so inclined. And it would probably be better if the person who summoned me was a sorcerer as well, because they could just continually attack while I was drawing the dragon away, like I seem to be doing now. Where is that other guy? What is he even doing? He's sort of running behind the dragon, but I'm the one who's doing most of the work. Yeah, just keep the gaping dragon away from the person who summoned you, and you should have... Oh, I'm out of great soul arrows, really. Oh man, he's using the cool Drake Sword attack. If you pick up the Drake Sword and you use the strong one of the strong attacks two-handed. It will just send a shockwave along the ground, which is really useful. But it does take some chunks out of the durability. And I took a little damage there, but I'm not too worried about it. Starting to fire off some heavy soul arrows now, and of course, once again, I fire off a soul arrow that just goes into the nether, into the ether. I can't speak. I need some water. Oh yep, we've taken care of the gaping dragon. Jump for joy. And the lesson here is, if you are a summon, be the bait and keep the boss off of the person who matters, which is the person who summoned you. Because you are there to help them out. You're getting souls for yourself, but really your purpose is to help the other person out. And if you sort of let them die while you hang back in the hopes that you can get some free souls, it's not going to... It's not helping anybody. You're being a jerk. So, just be a good summon. Help them cut off the tail and take the boss's attention off of them. It's much more important that you do this in one particular boss fight later, but I'll get into that once we actually get to Anor Londo. For now, I'm going to run myself back to the bonfire because I've got some leveling up to do. The last thing I'm going to do here in the depths is level myself up. Nearly done with this video, about 41 minutes and I want to say 8 seconds in. Climb up this ladder. I will be glad to never have to go into this place again. And of course I am going to go into this place again to show off the other part of Blight Town because I'm crazy. I would never normally do that. Unless maybe I'm making myself a magic Iaito or something. Be wary of Dark Wraith. That message is warning us about Knight Kirk, who is the Dark Wraith that we're being worried about. Here I give myself a quick endurance boost. Confirm my reinforcement. And I think I'm done here. Did I do anything else? Oh yeah. Repairing the equipment just in case, because, you know, that steaming gunky stuff on the floor of the Gaping Dragon boss battle arena, that can wear down your weapon durability a bit as well. That's why you want to stay out of it as much as possible. And over here, somebody has died. Somebody died in the bonfire room. How did this guy die? I'm going to take a look here. Runs forward. And inexplicably ganked by something that must have killed him in one shot. Maybe he was invaded. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment so more people can see it. Next time, we're going to Blight Town. See you then.